It's the lifesavers so many parents turn to in desperate times. Sam spreading. No, sorry.
Got me. That's a gun for hire.
Well done. No, handing a phone or an iPad to your kids to score a moment of peace. But new research might have you taking it back.
Technoference. It's a snappy term for a situation most of us are familiar with, where screens and devices disrupt time with our kids. Now, experts say that disruption is affecting their development.
The positive is you can kind of get the rest of your life done and no one's, having a meltdown.
Our kids don't watch TV and YouTube at all.
A new study tracked more than 200 families over 3 years, fitting toddlers with a device that recorded 16 hours of audio a day in the family home.
The way we did this was through advanced speech recognition technology that was kind of like a Fitbit, but instead of counting the number of steps you take, this device would count the number of words that children heard and spoke in their home environment.
And the results are alarming, showing the average 3-year-old has almost 3 hours of screen time a day, which could rob them of being exposed to more than 1,100 adult words, about 840 vocalisations and almost 200 conversations.
Growing up in a language-rich home environment where there's lots of talking and interaction and conversations with parents and children is so important when it comes to children's early language development.
In fact, for every minute of extra screen time, the toddlers heard 7 fewer words, spoke 5 fewer, and engaged in 1 less conversation.
That's ridiculous. I wouldn't have ever thought those numbers would be real.
That seems an awful lot of words to miss out on each day. Like a hell of a lot.
So far, experts aren't sure what this means long term, with no evidence that definitively links hearing fewer words as a toddler to long-term impacts on literacy.
We just want parents to think about other ways that they can bring in those conversations and those words into their child's daily life. We know that some children might end up experiencing some speech and language delay, but we can't really tell that from our study whether or not screen time is actually leading to that.
So how damaging is screen time for developing toddlers, and what does it all mean for their exhausted mums and dads?
Michael Noetel is a psychologist who knows all about this stuff and is here to tell us all about this stuff. Michael, just how bad is this really?
Well, look, screen time is really hard to avoid at the moment, and most of the effects of screen time on health and learning are pretty small, but those small effects can really build up over time. So if we think of screen time like food, a cheeseburger every now and again is no big deal, but a cheeseburger every day is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, and getting them hooked on cheeseburgers while they're very young and then for the rest of their lives, and in a very developmental phase, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But I wonder how much of this is about the screen time itself that the child is experiencing, and how much of it is about the parents and their addiction to their phones and the time they're not spending talking to their kids.
Yeah, totally. And like monkey see, monkey do as well, right? Like if they see us on our screens all the time, then they'll expect to do the same thing. I know that I find my phone pretty addictive too, so I've had to put controls in to stop that. And I think at the end of the day, I'd prefer to be more connected with my kids than I would be with more people on social media. And I think a lot of parents probably feel the same way.
Well, you say that.
Yes.
I mean, we all say that, but let's be honest.
Yeah, look, it's just hard at the time when screen time is such an immediate reward. And the benefits for your kids connecting to you or the benefits to their literacy are things that might happen 5 years down the track. For anything like that, it's really easy to feel the pull of the immediate reward. And so when we're sort of our wiser self, we can make it easier to kind of avoid that by, blocking Instagram between 6 and 8 o'clock at night. You'll probably survive for 2 hours without it.
But kids can't do that.
No, but we can do it for them. So again, if we treat screen time like food, we control what goes in the pantry. And if you just have sugar from top to bottom, the kids are going to have trouble trying to control themselves.
Are you aware that this nation also has an obesity crisis? I understand.
Some people are doing the double cheeseburger and a scroll.
And the nugs on the side.
Yeah, I know. And this is all part of the same problem because screen time is usually sitting down, and we know that watching TV does increase the risk of obesity.
So you have a 2-year-old. How much screen time is he allowed?
It depends if you ask my wife or me. And look, it's hard to...
Why? Who's which?
Who's more lenient?
Yeah.
Well, I'm the screen time researcher, right? So I'm the... But look, and parenting is really hard. But look, we probably allow somewhere between 30 and 90 minutes a day. And look, not going to lie, my 2-year-old needed a movie to get into the bath last night, and every parent has a similar experience. But once he was out of the bath and he was dressed, then we went back to, smashing dinos against each other.
And as a reward, you took him to McDonald's.
You know, my 6-year-old, he had his kindergarten, he started kindergarten this year, and he managed to read this whole certificate brilliantly. And I went, how did you learn how to read, Harry? And he said, YouTube Kids. He'd been watching the subtitles on the bottom. I mean, is that good?
Yeah, so we've found that there's been whole reviews showing that all of those things that are pairing sounds with words do help kids read. And this is what we're saying, is that a lot of screen time, if it's the right type of screen time, can improve people's literacy.
YouTube Kids, huh? I should look that up. That can help me out.
You'll learn to read one day.
Yeah.
You'll be all right. You get there.
Maybe before bed, you could read me a story.
Do you want to read what's on the auto cue now?
Okay, thanks for the insight, Miguel. Did I get it right, guys?
Well done. Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.